The air was cold. The wind rattled the old apartment windows as a heated argument filled the entire building. "It's time for you to leave. I won't let someone like you live in my building for free," the landlord Shamal yelled, his arms crossed over his chest. Standing before him was an elderly man, Hassan, his clothes worn, his face lined with years of struggle. For 30 years, this had been his home. He had always paid his rent on time. But a few months ago, his grandson had fallen ill, and every penny he had went to medical bills. "Shamal Bey, please," Hassan pleaded, his voice trembling. "I know I'm late on the rent, but I promise I'll pay you soon." Shamal laughed coldly. "Don't make me laugh, Hassan. If you don't have money, why are you even here? People like you bring down the value of my building." Other tenants peeked out of their doors, watching the scene unfold in silence. No one dared to speak up for Hassan. Shamal rolled his eyes. "You're an embarrassment. I don't want poor, filthy people like you ruining my property. Get out now." Hassan looked up at Shamal, his eyes filled with sadness, but not defeat. There was something powerful in his gaze, a quiet dignity. He studied Shamal for a moment before saying softly, "Remember this, Shamal Bey. Life is unpredictable. One day you're looking down on others, and the next you might not even be able to stand." Hassan turned and walked away, closing the door behind him. But what neither of them knew was that by tomorrow everything would change. The next morning, Shamal sat outside his building, sipping his coffee. He was a man who took pride in his power and wealth. He had no regrets about kicking Hassan out. Poor people like him didn't deserve sympathy. Then suddenly, a sleek black car pulled up in front of the building. The doors slowly opened. Two men in elegant suits stepped out first, followed by an older gentleman with a commanding presence. Shamal narrowed his eyes. Who was this man? The way people whispered and stared, it was clear he was someone important. The man approached him with steady steps, his expression unreadable. "Are you Shamal Bey?" he asked in a deep, authoritative voice. Shamal straightened his posture. "Yes, that's me. Who's asking?" he said, his usual arrogance creeping into his voice. The man smiled slightly. "I am the property registrar and the real owner of this building." He pulled out a document from his coat pocket. "Do you know whose name is actually on this title deed?" Shamal frowned. "What nonsense are you talking about? This building belongs to me." The man shook his head. "No, Shamal Bey, you're mistaken. This apartment complex actually belongs to Hassan Bey." Shamal's hands trembled. What did you just say?" The man continued. "Hassan Bey purchased this property years ago, but he never transferred the deed to his name. He never wanted to use his power to hurt anyone. But as of today, things are changing. From now on, the real rules will apply." Shamal's face turned pale. The man he had insulted and thrown out was now his landlord. As Hassan stepped forward, Shamal felt a chill run down his spine. The old man he had humiliated now stood before him, not as a beggar, but as a man in power. "Shamal Bey," Hassan said, his voice calm yet firm, "I haven't forgotten how you treated me yesterday, but today I am here to teach you a lesson," Shamal stammered. "Hassan Bey, I didn't know." Hassan narrowed his eyes. "Life doesn't always give second chances, Shamal Bey. You used your power to humiliate others. But I'm not like you. I just want people to be treated with respect, and for that reason, I cannot forgive you." Hassan turned to the property registrar. "Shamal Bey has no place in this building anymore. Give him 24 hours to vacate." Shamal's legs wobbled. "No, please, don't do this. I have nowhere else to go." Hassan shook his head. "Yesterday, when I begged you for a little mercy, you had none. Now it's my turn." Shamal dropped his head in defeat. The man who had once ruled over this building with arrogance was now being thrown out of it. With Shamal gone, things in the building changed. People no longer lived in fear. Hassan took over the management and ensured that everyone was treated fairly. One day, a new sign was placed at the entrance. "In this building, no one is left behind." As for Shamal, he had learned his lesson the hard way. True power wasn't about money or status. It was about how you treated others. Sitting on a park bench, he reflected on his actions. Had he been a better person, he would still have a home. But now he had nothing. No matter how powerful you think you are, what truly matters is how you treat others. because one day the tables can turn.